Hey there, everybody. It is the Squeaky Cheese Curd back once again with War. We beat Paraguay. I believe we have... Got all of our land back? Yo, 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 yo. Hey, man. Glad to have you here. Welcome back, Killa. I was streaming earlier today, just a little bit. Dude, did you know that you can stream using Hold on. You can control this game using Steam Link on your phone. I was playing Victoria 2 in the car. Not while I was driving, I was riding shotgun. But it was just blowing my brain. I was just like, this truly is the future. Now, it's not a first-person shooter, so you can't play that through the internet, and it got a little laggy sometimes, and the controls are kind of hard to use, but the concept is amazing. I could even stream while in the car. Now, granted, you wouldn't have me babbling. Maybe we could set up some sort of Discord. But yeah, I wanna kind of burst through this campaign here. So, we were doing Gran Colombia, but that shit sucked. So I'm trying Brazil instead. Ooh, excuse me. We'll demobilize our army. Bum ba-da-ba-dum 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 bum bum ba-da-ba-dum bum 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 bum. Let's go pick on this country here, Loango. No, actually, we'll hold off on doing that just a little bit. We need to build some boats. We'll build 10. Okay, let's make it really easy, like this. 1, 2. Salvador, whatever. Oh, Rio de Janeiro is the only place I can make it? Oh. Well, so be it then. Build me some ships now. So we enacted all cultures accepted. That's how I feel about my people. All cultures are accepted around here. Colombia, don't they have some of our land? Right here. No, what is this? What does this mean? What do these colors mean? The cultures. Empty. Oh, we're getting a decent amount of immigrants in. I am playing. I started a new game. The other game got really crappy because I didn't set up colonization right, and I want to be colonizing power. So now I'm trying Brazil. I kind of was rushing the colonial tech, and then when I didn't get colonial tech, I abandoned it altogether. So here we are. This allows us to construct naval bases. You know, a different one of my viewers says that this is his favorite song. Let's listen to this song, man. It's so emotional. It's beautiful. We're gonna commission some boats. Should have been stockpiling these. Can I choose my government? Nope. We're some really densely populated regions. Up here, over here, and this is our capital though, La Paz. Oh, it's in, okay, it's not in their capital. Let's try to find some good outputs. Where can I find some iron and coal? Iron, 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 iron. Coal. Come on, where's the coal at? Oh, let's roll some coal. There's some. Oh ho ho ho. So there. That's all we got. South and South whatever. South America, that's all we get. Yeah, baby? You wanna come up here? Come on. Madagascar is neutral with France. What would I do against them? Demand concession? Come here, fatso. Yes, sorry, I'm trying to make room for my cat on my disc. Let's go for Loango. They get iron. Oh, we gotta wait until we get our boats made. We have rising militancy. How's our literacy? It's probably horrible. We can go right to outlawed. But how does that help our immigration situation? We can do better. This raises our immigrant pop percent by 5. Let's take something from Peru. Wow, I'm going pretty deep in the debt here. Where's all of our money going? I think we should rescind some voting rights. Pastaza. Aw, man. I goofed up. Have fun playing in that forest, jungle, 22 stack, getting attrition. How's this war going? What the hell are you trying to get? How bold. Artillery. Cotton. Cotton. Finally. Let's do it even faster. This will take a little while. Bam, slavery gone. No more slavery down here. Put a winery right over here. Almost use this because we're so broke. A lot of beef being produced down here. That one. Do that one. We can go back over here. Use a trade policy. What is this? Citizen policy is not residency. Religious policy is not moralism. State and government, free press. So we can get state and government soon. Yeah, take that, United States. We got a lot of provinces left here. Not bad. Not that bad. No. My mic's not muted. Hey, what's going? Oh, sorry. Just, no one was watching, so I wasn't talking for a while. I wonder if you're still here. I didn't see your chat messages till now. Am I winning? Yes, I am winning. At life? No. But I'm setting up to be a great power. Well, just that there's other people. There's Killa came by, and then you came by. He left. So I don't know who's around. Plus, my viewer count doesn't update accurately. It says that no one's watching right now, so I don't even know what's going on. But anyways, declared war on Luango. Luango. Longo. That's how you pronounce that. Longo. Playing as Brazil. Trying to set up for lots of immigration, which means I really shouldn't be at war for that long. Let's try to end this war quickly. Trying to build some factories around my country. Right now I'm just building generic liquor factories everywhere. None of them are profitable. It is lying to me. Don't trust technology, kids. I read this short story once about a You know, that's the reason why I play this game. I'm like, I gotta be the only person streaming it. It's such a niche game. I love it though. So we are playing the Hfm mod. Hfm mod. I'm giving it a try. I want to do great things as Brazil. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Let's go. Railroad should be spammed everywhere. That's what I thought. I don't agree with this. Well, I don't know what the capitalists are thinking here. Where to go? That's weird. I'll have to put a liquor factory there. Oregon Treaty. British North America. The Hudson Bay Company. Interesting. Autonomous dependency. No elections. What's going on over here again? Watching this like a baby. And this war will end rather easily, successfully. No complaining here. I'm kind of killing my men by doing that. Full citizenship. If you want to have the one decision, you got to have not residency apparently. All right, welcome to Brazil. Brazilian Congo, Brazilian Cajamarca. Cajamarca. Where's our boats? We'll fly back. Pick up these intrepid explorers. Well, let's think of a different country we can subjugate. We could take this part of the Congo right here while we're here. Justify war, make concession. Democracy is for losers. Yes, well, democracy is a terrible system. Even the Greeks would tell you that. That's why many systems weren't democracies. The Spartans actually had a really cool government system where they had 2 dual kings, and they had veto power over the other's decision. And so most of the time that's just a stalemate. If one of them wanted to go to war and the other one didn't, well then nothing happened. No decisions made. And it's only when like both of them agreed to do something that something happened. And then, you know, it's an alright decision. Alright decision maker. It's kind of like, you know, how the current United States is like 3 separate powers and they fight 2/3 rule. Sounds really inefficient. Well, that's kind of the point. Is you're trying to restrain the power, because corruption tends towards power. Power tends towards corruption. And so you got to inhibit the power to inhibit the corruption. So they think. Did we not get caught? Did we really not get caught for that whole move? Oh. Nothing gets done. And then you end up with stagnation. And that's kind of where the United States and the Roman Senate ended up. They're just not getting anything done. They're not doing anything. You know, there's that clip of that one representative saying that Muammar Gaddafi had a higher rating than the United States Senate, Congress, and his own people dragged him out the street and beheaded him. You do have to tread a fine line, exactly. Just like how they say the line between good and evil runs down every man's heart. Declare war for Boss Congo. That was Solzhenitsyn. I was debating whether I just start playing audiobooks on these streams while playing this. Alexander Solzhenitsyn, The Gulag Archipelago. Man's Search for Meaning by that guy who survived the Holocaust. Allegedly. We can have 3 points, so we'll finally get ideological thought. We're looking good. We're looking good. Go, 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 go. Yeah, alright, let me alt tab a second while I set up a viewer count that's accurate. 1 moment. I promise you, you're not missing anything. There we go. Thank you. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for joining me tonight, by the way. I do love this game. Greatly unappreciated game. I wish they would make Victoria 3. All they got to do is just update the graphics and the engine a bit, you know? Maybe add some more content. It's just, you know, add all the friggin' histories. Have an alternate history random button. EU4 got so many expansions that did so much stuff to the game. You can create your own country. I'd create my own colonial state in the Caribbean and start colonizing all of the new coast. It's so great. It's so great. Vicky 3's like Half-Life 3. Oh, that'll never happen. Oh my God! Look at Chile. Can we give props off to Chile right now? Wow. Chile, you're my little pog champ right now. Good for you. Actually helping me in this war. Nice, we got 2 states right over here of the Congo. So we got naval bases over here. That was kind of my point. So it'll help us colonize Africa. So these are 15 life rating over here, which means I can get maybe this state right here, Matabele Buchaland, land. We can start colonizing right here as soon as we get 15. Most of, ooh, that one's 15. Wait, no, these are 5? Whoa. Those 5s are really uncolonizable. I'm just trying to think about where do I want to go next? Looking at my delicacies, where do I want to eat? Gaza? Or Matabele? I think we'll go for Matabele. Can I have immigrants again? The United States is getting a, 1,500, and we're getting 200. I wish I could get some reforms through. Oh, okay, this part right here. What do we want to do? This one will give the assimilation rate at plus 10%, and then some prestige, education efficiency. Or settlement. Assimilation rate's also pretty high. So we'll choose the colonizing one. Civilizing missions. Oh, nice. Finally. So what are the people really protesting for? Jingoism? What do the voters want? Universal weighted voting. That's what I wanted too. Because look right here. So this is plus 8% immigrants. This is plus 30%. So that's a 22% boost. So the United States was getting like 1,500. And we're getting like half of them now. Very nice. We're the southern United States. And I don't mean the CSA. Man, sorry, this song's dank. I like it. War is justified. In furniture factories. So let's look at our factory situation a little bit. I clicked off screen for a second. This was a stupid... can we change this? So this place over here has coal. So I wanted to make a steel mill. Glass. And a liquor factory. Over here I want to add clothing factories now. Oh, look at this stupid number here. What do the people want now? Tell you what, I'm gonna get the immigrant one. And well, the decision for a new life in a new world requires free press. We'll get there eventually. Oh, no way. I was like, am I taking in more immigrants to the United States? Declare war, place in the sun. Do we have more? 3.4, so no. Not yet. We'll get this to help our people become literate faster. Can we hurry up with this? Getting clergy? This is getting kind of annoying. People are still moving to us at an alarming rate. Okay, so don't attack me. Just give up your land. Come on, let's get this over with. Colonial power. I am a secondary power. Are able to colonize, but I can't really colonize because I'm not going to discover the tech in time. Warsongalia? That sounds like Warsong Gulch. Build what? Build Terracina. First planned city, northeast capital located out of the coast. It was the capital of the Paului Capitini. However, due to difficulties in the communication and trade, the capital was transferred to the area of the Parnaíba River and other cities on the sea coast. Colonization of the place where Terracina is now located dates back to 18th century. The chosen place was a small community of fishermen. In 1760, nearby Padi and Parnaíba rivers, then a small fisherman dwelling grew up and became a village, which was called the Villa de Podi, but due to the inundation of the Parnaíba riverbanks, the city had to be built in a higher position. This Viva da Padi gets rebuilt city for the next year and gets pop and immigrant attraction. I'm liking these immigrant numbers. We built a bunch of naval bases, as you should do, if you want to colonize. I'm 13th in prestige, 21 in terms of factories, and kind of low in military power. I don't have 2% intellectuals yet. I've been spamming that the entire game so far. It was a dang song. Who's rebelling in our country? Well, people should love us here. I mean, you get the vote. Everyone gets the vote. It's all equal, unfortunately. You have recently freed slaves voting for who rules? What? Dominion of the Ottomans. How's Europe crack-a-lackin'? Huh. No NFG. That is what the culture map of Brazil looks like. Afro-Brazilian. Brazilian. Hi, I'm Brazilian. I'm Brazil. Hola, I'm Brazil. Amazonian. You're telling me there are literally Amazonian women out there? Geez, Africa's a mess. What do I get next here? I suppose this is what we should get next. Mission to civilize. Some people are leaving my country for the United States. What? Ugh. Yeah, I need like a high energy game. I should play some League of Legends or something. Play some old Team Fortress 2. We're almost on par with the United States in terms of immigration. Whoa. What is happening in Europe is going to war. What? They're not? Huh. Never mind. Literacy impact on consciousness. Whoa. First time ever observed us taking in more immigrants than the United States. Is there no wood? It's all tropical wood. That little factory? Oh, it's a liquor distillery. That's cool. Tells you what it's building. Sulfur. It's not like I can do anything anyways. Wrong government type. We'll let this roll. Social justice. What the hell? We just discovered that? Undiscover it. Stop it. Turn back the time. 1854. You know how they say if you could go back in time and shoot Hitler in the head? Would you kill baby Hitler? I don't know, man. Did baby Hitler commit any crimes? But he grows up to be a bad person. You grow up to be a bad person. My wife was saying we're still talking about him. I'm like, damn, you're right. We say if you kill one person, you're a murderer. If you kill 1 million people, you can be a war hero. Alexander the Great's remembered. He killed millions of people. Well, he led an army that did. I'm just saying, give me an army. Give me an army, Chief. Throw me in there. I've played enough Total War. I know what to do. I'd get stabbed in the back. Instantly. I'm a naive person. I'm too trusting. They would kill me first wave. I wouldn't last long in the revolution. What is this stuff? Zimbabwe. Such a high life rating. What does Europe look like? People always ask me. That's why we're taking in so many people right now. Is that why the migration map looks dank AF? Yeah, look at us. We're taking in more immigrants than the United States is. Well, there's a lot of room in our country. Finally crossed the 2% threshold. About time. Now what are we supposed to rush? Factory workers? Rio de Janeiro. Well, I can't do anything anyways. Keep on forgetting I changed my governments. Stupid elections. So we have to become a great power. Prestige is a great way. Factories, military power. Right in time. Factory throughput. Medicine could be kind of useful. What we start off at? 5% literate? $14.394. Ally with the French, sure. I mean, normally I think they're disgusting, but a bunch of snail eaters. So what are the people really protesting for? Voters' rights movement? Ah, you guys get free press instead. So, a new life in the new world. All I need to do is change my citizenship policy to not residency. Which this one is. And now I get to do new life in the new world. With the large political freedom that's enjoyed in your country, there's a new proposal in the upper house to boost our numbers. Large numbers of Europeans can be brought to our country to work in the fields. Their travel being paid by the Brazilian government. Propaganda, incentives, paid travel tickets, and treaties can be signed with other governments to increase the number of immigrants that arrive in our country. Come start a new life in the Empire of Brazil. For the next 2 years, we will get 150% immigrant attraction. I should like put us above America. 2,000. 1,000. Maybe not. Population is growing nicely. 4.2 million. We missed the 420 million blaze it mark. I think we are growing weed in the Brazilian jungle. There's got to be some type of cannabis plant in there. You can't tell me there isn't one. Trade policy. Oh, this is why our factories are dying. Now all these factories make money. The second I turn off the subsidy. I put a 50% tariff on these. They can't afford them. %20 tariff. Interesting. You guys are so stupid. But why do we keep doing this? Try to encourage some social reforms. Bahi. I need to get some money-making tech. Maybe one level of taxation tech. This is not good. Nice, we got medicine. I'll say we need the stock exchange tech. That'll help our population grow even faster. Has the wars ended in Europe? Oh, come on, man. Why do you guys gotta be peaceful? Look at these tiny little nations over here. Ha! Look at that town right there. Brunswick. Is that how Österreich looks? Paris looks? London? I see what we're doing here. I think I see what's going on here. Madrid. New York. DC. Are we doing this for all the capitals? Nope. So people are doing all this protesting because they want gerrymandering. Jefferson method is the highest average method for allocating seats. Thus, a type of party-list proportional representation. Proportional representation is aimed to allocate seats to parties approximately in proportion to the number of votes received. For example, if a party wins 1/3 of the votes, it should be gain about 1/3 of the seats. In general, exact proportionality is not possible because of the divisions produce fractional numbers of seats. As a result, several methods have been devised to ensure that the party seats allocations, which are of course whole numbers, are as proportional as possible. In comparison with the Saint Leg method, the Jefferson method is slightly favors larger parties and coalitions scattered over small parties. The candidate with the most votes wins. The percentage of the votes among the candidates obtained in the election equals the percentage of seats they receive. That's the Let's do that one again. kind of broke right now. Taking a decent chunk of people. I really should play some like documentaries while I'm playing this game. You guys have any Rhodesia documentaries we could play? Or maybe I'll bring it back. So we're hanging out. Come on, give me some more money so I can lower my tariffs so my factories can be money making instead of loss generating machines. Part of the problem is, bureaucrats. If I set this to 23, our factories don't really need subsidies anymore. Except for one liquor factory. Set that to 91. This to 51. 71. We can lower this even more. What's going on? What should we be researching? Probably this right here. Upgrade our naval bases. Planned economy. People seem to like this. We don't produce any silk? Oh, I did not know that. Operation a crap ton of liquor factories is working great. Nationalize the industry. So what is this about? No more will the foreign dogs grow fat off the sweat of our people. The time has come to seize all assets owned by outsiders, to be cared for by the state. Now our factories are making profits, and they're being turned towards our own state and country. Helping our own people snowball into a world power. You know what we should play is like Hitler's economic recovery, how that happened. Because he just switched off the fiat currency that was being printed, the debt-based currency, to a value-based currency. You know, they say that Kennedy did the same thing. He was trying to get us on the greenback. Look what happened to him. All I'm saying is, guys, remember how 10 years ago we had Occupy Wall Street and we were going after the banks? How come it's not happening anymore? All I'm saying is audit and nationalize the Fed. Ron Paul is my guardian angel. Where is Ron Paul? Give me 1 second, you guys.
Welcome to Houston. For those who have come from outside of Houston, and it's good to be here, I would like to introduce my wife. My wife Carol is with me today. She had to show up because she played hooky a couple times this summer, and so she has to make up for that. But she's doing well, and I'm very pleased with that. But I am very pleased to come and speak. And Lou, he may have given me a topic, but he didn't announce it. So
I haven't seen this video beforehand.
Right. Well, you know, I do have some good news though, and the good news is this: that it is very clear that when governments and government officials act, you know, outside the law, it's an encouragement for individuals to act outside the law.
No way.
And if you're looking for a revolution, believe me, there's going to be a lot of activity going on. Because just think about it. We could start with this little insurance, well-endowed insurance program called Social Security, run honestly and ethically and above board. But lo and behold, they complain with a guy like Madoff. Madoff goes and does the same thing, you know. But isn't it wonderful who's going to be Secretary of Treasury? You know, isn't this neat? I mean, he doesn't believe in paying taxes. So what the heck? You know, what is going to happen these days? I mean, we may truly see some exciting times ahead. But no, he believes in collecting taxes now, and he'll probably be very ruthless in collection of taxes. But obviously, it does make a strong point. Now, a lot of you may have seen a bumper sticker that I have in my office, and because it's been on the internet, and yesterday I had some young kids in the office, not too unusual, and the students came in and they wanted to get their picture with the bumper sticker. Of course, he allowed me to be in the picture too. But this bumper sticker is very simple. It says, "Don't steal, the government hates competition."
Oh, snap.
And they don't like competition. They don't like competition in running your life. They want to run your life for you. They don't want competition running the economy. They want to run the economy. And of course, they don't like anybody to run their own affairs overseas. They think they're capable and have this obligation to run everybody's affairs overseas as well. So it boils down to a very simple philosophy of what we need. We need to get the government, you know, out of our lives, out of our bedrooms, out of our walls, off our back, and out of foreign countries. And in the meantime, just get rid of the Federal Reserve.
Sorry, Furry. We went full end of Fed while you were gone.
Speaking out against the Federal Reserve and sound money, it had to be a unique crowd. You know, those conspiracy nuts and these people to bring up the subject. Yes, we should get out of the UN. And yes, we should get rid of the Federal Reserve.
Yes,
and
yes.
In that special crowd, you would get these cheers. But something has happened. Something dramatic has happened. And it's happening on the campuses of this country. And some people give me credit. I don't take the credit. I give credit to the academicians, the many people who you've heard speak here, and groups like the Mises Institute who have changed attitudes. And it isn't just a few anymore. It isn't just a unique crowd that believes in the conspiracy. I mean, it's so dangerous now that it has infiltrated college campuses. I mean, I couldn't have possibly influenced these college kids. I mean, one person can't do that. So some of these ideas have infiltrated, and it's getting to be very serious. Because you all know the story about what happened at the University of Michigan. I mean, that was startling. It scared me. Because here I am. It was after the debates over in Detroit. We went over to Ann Arbor, and I got there a little late, and there was a little bit of agitation and frustration, but it was dark. And but there was a large crowd there. I couldn't see the crowd very well. It was that dark. But they said there were a lot of young people there. So I went on and gave my talk and alluded to the monetary system and the Federal Reserve. And all of a sudden, a bunch of them started burning Federal Reserve notes. And then they started chanting, "End the Fed, end the Fed," you know.
Holy crap.
Where did this all come from? So I'm on the receiving.
You mean burning dollar bills?
That information and that message. They were telling me to end the Fed. So I said, well, that does sound like a good idea. So we have promptly introduced once again the bill to end the Fed. So. But when we had our little
Where'd that go?
Rally up in Minneapolis, along with, I think it was another political party down the street had another rally and a convention. We had ours, and lo and behold, we had speakers there that had the audacity to mention Austrian economics. Believe it or not, they started cheering Austrian economics. I mean, what is going on? There's great progress going on. In Washington, you can see some progress. They're thinking seriously about what's happening because guess what? They're scared, and rightfully so, and they don't understand what's happening. And Lou has alluded to it, the fact that other members do now ask questions. Before, it was usually chuckling and laughing and forgetting about it and say, there he goes again. but now they will come up, and they're very serious about asking it, because frequently the people on the financial stations of all places, I mean, they'll come up and they'll say, well, you know, he predicted this and predicted that. It wasn't that I predicted it. I just read what you people write about and learn how Austrian economics works. So it isn't a great thing to predict. You know, it's like it takes a genius to predict that if you print a lot of money, it loses value. You know,
real talk, you guys. They say 30% of all U.S. dollars were printed this year.
And then this whole idea that a bubble is forming. A lot of you in this room probably remember the name and know the name Jim Grant. And Jim Grant is a good Austrian economist and a good writer. And I invited him down to talk to some members of Congress right after I went back into Congress in 1997. And he came.
It's actually 35%.
A small group. 1997, he took his whole time talking about the horrendous debt being built up by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. I mean, we all knew about it and talked about it, but it was really on his mind. But once again, that doesn't tell you that we know a whole lot about timing, because things were bad in 1997, 1998. There was a bubble, malinvestment, too much debt, had to have a correction. But how many times has it been papered over? I mean, they've been able to achieve it. I look at the financial system dating back to the date that Lou mentioned, August 15th, 1971. And then we might have been forced into a real serious monetary reform, but it didn't happen. The confidence in the dollar was restored. We had an adjustment. Prices went up, and we went on. But in every crisis since, in every recession, they've always been able to do exactly what they had been doing: print, spend more money, and run up more debt. And you gotta understand from where they're coming from, because it worked to that degree. You know, the recession would go down and it would come back. This last go around, though, with Greenspan and Bernanke, I mean, especially in the year 2000, that little recession that came, it's this anticipation. Before, they used to wait. Oh, well, the economy is getting too robust. The treatment for a robust economy is recession. Of course, you know, a robust economy should be good. But anyway, they would bring on the recession. But this last 10 years, they never allowed the recession to come. They anticipated, and every time it takes more and more and more. I blow the bubble up bigger and bigger. So now, since we are the recipients of benefits of being able to issue the reserve currency of the world, all this paper manufacturing and issuing of paper has been a worldwide event. So this bubble is, I don't think it's overstating the point that this bubble is the biggest of all history. And there's been a greater trust placed in us, the American system, the paper money,
North Germans have formed.
Federal Reserve, our great wealth, and unfortunately our great military, because military can convey confidence in a currency. You know, if there's a war going on and one country's beating the other country, their currency goes up with a victory. So there's a lot of the, you know, the perception of who will be victorious. So we came out, liberty didn't come out so well after World War I, but economically we came out pretty well. World War II, it's been on and on. So we've had this tremendous bubble build, and even in the old days they had inflation, but it was regional. It was never so universal and so worldwide. I sense in Congress today that the members of Congress are very, very worried and frightened. But lo and behold, you know, they give $350 billion to Treasury, and it didn't seem to solve the problem. Markets haven't improved any. So they said, well, where'd the money go? Well, we don't know where it went. Why would you ask us a question like that? So what do you do now? What should we do now? Well, give us another $350 billion. And what did the Congress do? I mean, last week we had two bills we debated related to the TARP funds, and the money, I mean, the rubber stamp was put there, so the new administration will get that $350 billion. But obviously, the spending and the borrowing and the inflating that created our problem is the only tool that they have left. And the only thing that's holding it together is a remnant, a small amount of confidence left in the system. Right now, it's still the confidence in the dollar. I am reminded about, and a few of you in this room must, I'm sure, remember, in the 1970s, John Exter, who had had some experience in central banking, he had this neat graph or demonstration where he had an inverted pyramid. And of course, at the bottom of the pyramid was gold, and above that, the different currencies. But even then, when he proposed that picture of how the economy inflates, there weren't even any derivatives that existed. And just think of what his concept was and his concern, and then you put $70 trillion worth of derivatives up at the top, and there's a tremendous rushing out of the lesser desired assets and rushing toward the bottom. But on days I just wonder exactly where we are in this gravitating down toward the peak and down to those very limited assets, which would be gold and silver. But right above that still is the dollar. Right, the dollar and treasury bills. I mean, people, they don't know where to go. They don't understand it very well. So they have billions of dollars. You can't go and get a CD. You got to buy treasury bills, and you know they're not hard to make. We can create those. We can create those out of thin air, you know, rather easily. And you know, down at the bottom though, we we would have several of the currencies that people still cling to. The yen isn't all that bad, and the euro is holding its own. But I think the British pound isn't doing too well and may not hold us. So they'll be whittled away. They'll be whittled away. But in the meantime, the concept of central banking has not vanished. Yes, we have these growing number of kids on the campuses, and a lot of people like you out there studying have understood this for years. But there's still a lot of people who believe very strongly in central banking. So as our movement grows and makes an effort to get rid of the concept of central banking and the Federal Reserve, we also have the group that have had the greatest deal of influence on our government, those who tend to have control over the Republican Party and the Democrat Party. You know, it's like Goldman Sachs has an influence on government, whether they're Republicans or Democrats.
Her group controls
but
both
those
parties.
Individuals who know about it are making their plans. About a week ago, we were told, and I went back a day early because I was told that Bernanke would be before our committee on Monday for some hearings to go over the TARP funding issue. And when I got there, he wasn't there, and they said, oh no, he couldn't make it, he was elsewhere. But it turned out that was the day, if you remember, he gave a speech in London on a Monday morning, and that was the news. He was over there, that was the cover, giving a speech. The speech was broadcast, it was on our news, and you can get the script, and we had the vice chairman of the Fed come before the committee. But what they didn't tell you is the day before, he was in Basel, Switzerland, at Bank of International Settlements, meeting with a few of his buddies, you know, and they were talking. But I asked the assistant to Bernanke whether or not we could have those minutes, but he said, no, you're not allowed. No, he didn't say that, but. And I closed my statement by saying, yes, I'm not allowed to have those because under the law, he doesn't have to tell us a thing. You know, we complain about $700 billion and the Treasury blowing 700 and we can't make them listen to us. But that's peanuts compared to the trillions that the Federal Reserve has control of. But they know by now that this system is not viable. The way I see it in my mind is that the very weak system that came out of Bretton Woods was the fiat dollar standard. And it's lasted up until now. And it built a financial pyramid of debt, and it's worldwide. And that system has come to end because it quits functioning. I mean, everything is collapsing and closing down, and production is going down, and all the things that we are witnessing. But the dollar is still existing. But they're still trying to revitalize what built the big bubble. And of course, that is the creation of money and the creation of credit. But the one thing they don't have any control over is the restoration of confidence.
Sounds pretty anti-Semitic.
Since the world has lost confidence in the dollar system, the only thing the politicians and the bankers have is to keep doing the same thing that gave us all the trouble. And that is print, print, print. And this is what they're up to. I think it's just a matter of time now. I'm absolutely convinced in my mind, I may be wrong, but I'm absolutely convinced that they can't go back and pick up the pieces. They're not. It's sort of like going back. The British wanted to go back and restore the pound at the old gold standard, which obviously didn't work. We can't go back to the old gold standard. We can't go back to the Bretton Woods. We can't go back to the post-Bretton Woods standard. And therefore, something new has to come up. They're planning they're making their plans for what they think they should have, and I'm very confident that they would like to see, a one world central bank. The dollar hasn't done the trick. We were entrusted to run the system, but now they will have to take it away from us and take it away from the dollar.
Maybe some type of global reset.
If they get away with it, they might be able to keep things going or get things started again, but I don't think we're going to be in charge I think that we are destined to be a much poorer nation. That is what the handwriting on the wall. Of course, the world is going to be poorer too, and the question is whether they can devise a system. So time is short, and the arguments are very, very important, and I think we're making great progress. But the battle is going to be on the campuses, and just hopefully we have enough time to stimulate enough young minds that they can get in the right positions to give the right answers. This is one place where I've been tremendously encouraged on the campuses during the campaign, and there's a youth group, the Young Americans for Liberty has been a outgrowth of what we're doing, and hoping to the best of my ability to have them get organized. And we will be testing that. We will be going to the campuses. If I enjoyed traveling more, I would do it more often. But traveling is a job for me. I've had a lot of nice invitations lately. I can't tell my wife all about these, but she might decide to like to take one. We had one from Hong Kong the other day, and just this week I had one from Italy and Turkey. We've had
sounds great.
Eastern Europe, and the way I see this is, with the internet, they do hear and understand what we're talking about, but it must
we're a great
be
power.
5
Look at
or
us.
10%, maybe less, hopefully 10 or 15 or 20%, but obviously never a majority. But it isn't like it's just in Auburn, Alabama. That isn't where it is. I mean, it is out there. And the other day I was coming back from the Capitol, and a bunch of men were all bundled up because it was very cold, and they come over and they were excited. They wanted to meet me. I said, "Where are you from?" They said, "New York." And I says, "What part of New York?" They were from upstate. And I said, "Aha, you're from the part of New York nobody ever hears about." And I said, "I know that you're out there, and I understand," because they were enthusiastic, and yet they're still in the minority, But once again, we have been reminded very many times that the numbers, and I remember Leonard Reed saying this so often, it's not a numbers game. It's not a numbers game. You don't say, when are we going to get 51%? Well, we just need influential people, and that is what's happening. And that's why the Mises Institute deserves support, because they are changing the numbers. I mean, all the people that have been helped to get their degrees and get teachers in the right places. That's where the future is. And right now, it hasn't had a reflection in Washington, but it's starting to. It's starting to have a reflection. They're starting to ask about Austrian economics, and they're asking the right question. And believe me, you can't have any influence until they start asking the questions. They're asking the right questions. They're worried and they're concerned. They know this system isn't working, and I am encouraged in that sense. But in the other sense, though, I am very concerned, because it can get pretty rough. And my main goal is, of course, I want to live in a prosperous manner, peacefully, and
no, you don't.
And have as much enjoyment as possible.
No, you don't.
But it isn't the prosperity that motivates me. I do know that if prosperity is my goal, the freer society is, the better it is for us. I understand that. But my biggest concern, of course, when I see what's happening, is a threat to our personal liberty. And I have always argued, I would argue the case for liberty, because for me it's a moral issue, it's not a pragmatic issue. I would argue the case for liberty because I just want to be left alone. That's what I want to be. But fortunately, we don't have to take that case, because not only can we be left alone, that is the philosophy that takes care of the maximum number of people with the maximum amount of prosperity. But today we live in an age where I think it's really coming down to the wire. I mean, if we'd have had this climax of dissolving of the system as we're having today around the world in 1971, we would have been
Paraguay.
in worse shape, believe me. I just think we're in so much better shape now to argue our case. We have better methods of transmitting our information. I mean, I mean, we make fun and laugh sometimes at radio talk shows, but we've made a lot of use out of radio talk shows. But with the internet and the communications that we have now, are just fantastic. I mean, the fact that somebody in Italy might want Ron Paul to come over, that's pretty weird, you know. but this communication thing is fantastic. So there's every reason to be encouraged. I don't think we have to worry about the philosophy. I believe that
Chile, you should be helping me in this war.
We can agree on 99% of the things because, you know, you don't have to be real smart to tell other people how to live. You just have to be smart enough to lay off and leave them alone. I thought, you know, probably the most significant statement I made that undermined the campaign, the presidential campaign in this day and age, was telling people, well, I would be president. I would serve as president. I want to be president. I said, but not because I want for what I want to do, because I don't want to run your life. I don't want to run the economy, and I don't want to police the world. I don't know what you want to do with your life. I don't know how to dictate to the economy, and I certainly don't want to be involved overseas. But you know, you can turn that around and say, not what you don't want to do. What do you want to do? Well, you want to preserve liberty. You want to preserve the greatness of this country. And in the meantime, we will protect the prosperity of this country. But if we concentrate on that ideal of liberty, I believe that we can find all our answers. Thank you very much.
What a crazy person. What a madman. Absolute madman. The song's a banger. I love it. Back to the game. I don't want to fight Paraguay. I can't add any war goals. Reparations. 20% tax for the next years. Beautiful. Restore Cisplantina. It looks to be an empire. Karl Marx was a guy who was too lazy to get up by 8 a.m. every day, so he decided that he couldn't keep his job, and everybody should have free stuff. I know that is exactly what he did. So don't fight me on it, okay? That's what he's known for. Is that French? The French are fighting to help me win. We got the banking one. Will really help our education. Yo, 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 welcome back, my friend. Glad to have you here. We were playing some Ron Paul. Oh, let me hide that stupid screen. Dude, I would kill for some pizza right now. Oh, God. Domino's used to be so good 10 years ago. No, it's utter shit. What happened? They had this buffalo chicken ranch pizza. Oh my God, it was so good. I'm trying to figure out what tech I want to research next. Paddle steamers. Domino's is still good. Hopefully I didn't trigger anybody. Sometimes, I don't know. It seems like it's a little, the recipe may have changed. My wife likes the stupid, pan pizzas. I hate the pan pizzas so much. I'm trying to prepare for colonizing, so I think we better get the guns. You want to peace out yet? So I assume there's no factories there. And your goal is to build a tank factory there. How stupid is this game? So a cannery would work great. Very nice, very nice. Oh, dude, yeah, I could kill for some pizza right now, though, for real. That soup did not fill me up. Fill me up. You know, some women like being filled up. I don't even know what that means. An archaeological museum. Now that we have excavation rights for our expedition, we should establish a museum in our capital for our artifacts. Sure. Great power Brazil. Oh, so now I can start influencing nations, right? Like, like you're now in my sphere. Peru. Or Paraguay. Oh, we have a truce with them. Look at us, we're above Spain. And in terms of populations, 45 million, 7 million, 11 million, 10 million, 6 million, 20 million, 5 million, 5 million. Are any of these people assimilating? Really? There's not one German here? Let's go declare war with, what the hell the name of this country? Argentina. Take back our land. Sancti Spiritu? Interesting. What are they calling this war? The Second War of Brazilian Liberation. Did you really attack into me like that? How am I losing people so badly? Here we go, we got 3 defense, right? Who's leading this stupid army? Deodoro Durta. Well, you can back out. Do they have better military tech than me? No. No. Chile. You're not a real ally then. Get out of here. assume this is all my cores right here. All of this stuff. Can you just hand it over? Can we just stop fighting? Little Caesars is better though. I wouldn't. I like a thin crust pizza like New York style. With a crispy crust. I don't like a doughy crust. I don't like the Chicago style is pretty good too. Toppers is really good pizza. Toppers is amazing. Toppers is located in Wisconsin. And Midwest. There's one in Boulder, Colorado now, so that's kind of cool. Buenos Aires. Well, hello there, Buenos Aires. The culture is plantain. Is that European? They say that a lot of Europeans settled over here. I don't know if that's entirely true. In La Plata, as they call it. The Plata. You don't know what. Well, I like pizzas that taste good. I'm kind of a snob. There's some pizza that's disgusting and I know, just nasty. But it's gotta be hot and fresh. I used to get these frozen pizzas called Roma. Oh, I can't find them anymore out in Colorado. I'm so sad. Argentina. Could we add a war goal? We're already doing that. There we go, we grew ourselves a little bit. We have 5.32 million people. Oh, I gotta get these guys to join up. We will not accept military access. Change. Hey, wait a second. Wasn't this land all colonizable? Argentina's they're colonizing it right now. When did Argentina get so big? Anyways. Everything's going nicely. Going to adjust our budget now. Back down. Repay this loan. Jacobin rebels have enforced their demands on Paraguay. Liberals become the new ruling party. Let's put a liquor factory there. Liquor factory's good in every single state. They haven't let me down yet. We're spending all of our money on what? Machine parts. Liberation of Italian Savoy. Oh no. Oh God. I don't think I want to involve myself in that. The Greeks are nuts. We dipped out of that war. No, I'm the immigration superpower. Yeah, I don't want to join in there to find out. Looks like Italy's taking land. Italy's got a equally sized army. Have you ever had Chicago deep dish? Yes, I have had Chicago deep dish, where they put down the dough, then they put cheese, and they put the sauce on top, and more cheese, and the cheese isn't burnt, it's caramelized, and it's delicious. And yes, you know, that's really messy, and you gotta eat it with a fork. I like a New York style. Is Italy gonna win? Look at that boot go. Putting down the boot on France. Get some popcorn, y'all. Hey, look at this little tiny country. Liechtenstein. Aw, it's cute. Are you good at Hoi 4? I would say no. I've never beaten Hoi 4. Haven't put that many hours into it. I could even show you. "44 hours played in Hoi 4, as opposed to the 2020 hours, 2020. But then again, I never close this game, so it's always running, so those numbers are fake. I don't even think that 44 hours is real, too. I wouldn't trust it. I am just hemorrhaging money right now. Jesus. Have to do a 10% subsidy. Kind of impressed if our factory's doing pretty good. I didn't doubt Liechtenstein was a real country. I thought it was funny. There's only 3,000 people that live there. Okay, Google. My phone. I always like to ask it random factoids. Stop listening to me. Stop invading my privacy. It always is like, I would never invade your privacy. And I'm like, you lying son of a robot. I don't trust you. Look at this delta. They say the Amazon River is like moving so many tons of water a second. They say. So I bought some snow pants to wear on my motorcycle when I drive to work. Hopefully it'll keep me warm. I wanted to get heated gloves, but they're $180. I'm like, Jesus Christ. That's how much the snow pants were. I'm not gonna spend $360. Keep me warm. But the whole point was like, hey, I'm spending like $200 a month on gas. Driving my truck to work, but my motorcycle gets like 60 miles to the gallon. My truck gets like 10. Don't need heated gloves when it's 60 constantly. Oh, I know, man. Let's just move to a warmer state. Let's move to California. I wonder what temperature it's like right there. Don't need heated gloves when you got a car. You guys are roasting me. The southern weather is great, except for the summer. Yeah, because then it'll be. I wouldn't want to wear my jacket and wear my protective gear when it's summertime, and then when I fall, they say you're supposed to dress for the crash, dress for the slide, not for the ride. Time for some more naval bases. I need to get some money again. God, I'm so broke. You haven't seen snow in 9 years. It's constantly 20 here in Michigan. I go outside and I wear shorts. And, hey man, no, I do the same thing. You flip-flops, shorts. You're not outside for that long. I'm loving this Colorado weather. It's so much better than Wisconsin. Because, like, it'll snow, but then the next day, there's no clouds, there's no overcast, so the sun melts it, and it's gone. Yeah, it snowed like a week ago here, but it's all melted. 55 is jacket weather. Let's see here. We're trying to get ready for machine guns. So we'll get paddle steamers next. Finally, we'll get steamboats. Steamboat. Larry. Let's find some content to play. Hyperinflation, huh?
Hi everyone, and welcome to this GCSE history revision tutorial. Today we're going to revise the early years of the Weimar Republic.
What the hell is this?
Of France.
Oh man, let's get someone who's like 1 million plays, because I need something banging. How did Hitler rise to power? We're getting closer. Play the sex offender shuffle. Here we go.
1918 and the First World War is finally over. As punishment for losing, Germany's two wartime allies, the Austro-Hungarian and Ottoman empires, were carved up shortly afterwards. The pressures of defeat plunged Germany into chaos, and as a result the Kaiser abdicated. Revolution and counter-revolution were the order of the day, and in the small town of Weimar, Berlin was too dangerous, the Weimar Republic was declared. The next year the Allies signed the Treaty of Versailles, which dictated the terms of Allied victory. This territory was lost and the Rhineland was occupied by the Allies. Germany further had to reduce its military massively, pay war reparations, and also had to accept almost full responsibility for the war's outbreak. So this new Weimar Republic was one of the most democratic nations in the world at that point. Suffrage was granted to everyone over the age of 20, including women. The German people could vote on two aspects of the national government. Every 7 years they voted on a president who presided over the German parliament, the Reichstag. Every 4 years people would vote for political parties in national elections for the Reichstag via a system known as proportional representation, whereby the percentage of votes nationally dictated the percentage of seats in the Reichstag. The president could call elections whenever he felt and also had the important job of appointing the chancellor who ran the government and could propose laws. These laws had to be passed by a majority vote in the Reichstag, and since no party ever got 50% of the seats, that meant the parties would have to cooperate. No, democracy did not guarantee harmony, and there was numerous attempts at revolution, such as the quickly aborted Socialist Republic of Bavaria and the 1920 revolution led by Dr. Wolfgang Kapp. Kapp seized Berlin and the German army refused to attack him because there was a strong belief that Germany had only lost the war due to political betrayal. Kapp's revolution was only ended by a general strike which ground the country to a halt. This turmoil did not help the German economy, and eventually Germany missed a war payment. The French wished to punish the Germans for this, whereas the British wanted leniency. The French government decided that if the Germans would not pay them, then they'd simply take the money instead, and in 1923 the French occupied the heavily industrialised region of the Ruhr. The reason for this
leave the Ruhr alone!
Materials, many of which were produced there. Another way that German reparations could be paid was in foreign currencies, which were paid for by printing more paper marks. This created the hyperinflation that the Weimar Republic is famous for. For example, in January 1923, a loaf of bread cost 163 marks, and in early November in 1923, the same loaf of bread cost over 75 billion marks. In November 1920, another attempted revolution occurred in Munich, led by a certain Adolf Hitler and undertaken by the SA, the military arm of the National Socialist German Workers' Party, better known as the Nazi Party. This revolution failed when other nationalist politicians refused to help Hitler and the army was called in. Hitler was wounded and arrested shortly afterwards. It was in prison that Hitler dictated his autobiography, Mein Kampf, which became the bedrock of Nazi ideology. All of this would make it seem like the Weimar Republic was about to immediately collapse, but it managed to survive thanks to the intervention of two specific individuals, Gustav Stresemann, who helped to repair relations with France, and Charles
Jeez,
Dawes,
bro.
an American who would later become vice
I'll get to it too. We have lots of time.
Germany's economic problems. Germany's repayments were lowered, the French agreed to leave the Ruhr, and America agreed to loan Germany money, which created a strong economic link between the two countries. So then the Great Depression struck, tanking the US economy and dragging Germany's down with it. Paul von Hindenburg, the president of Germany at the time, failed to get the Reichstag to agree on a response, or anything. As a result, he had to invoke Article 48, which allowed the president to pass laws without the approval of the Reichstag in times of emergency. The biggest problem with Article 48 was that there was no definition of an emergency, meaning it was open to abuse.
Oh, of
German
course.
people turned to different political parties to fix the problems. Some chose communism, whereas others placed their faith in the National Socialists. The Nazis believed that the German-speaking peoples should be united in a single state. They argued that
Oh,
communists and the Jews
we're
were
not
the enemies
gonna
of the German
platform Nazi ideology on right here.
Look at this baby. His teachers praised him. This video was made. He was a man with an insane enthusiast, and he had an unpublished manuscript about aliens. Clearly, he was a man with an insatiable thirst for knowledge. Maybe he could have loaded up his computer and logged onto Skillshare, an online learning community with more than 19,000 classes in design, business, technology, and more. Perhaps he was considering a side career in fashion, but didn't know.
Don't you have a
On
particular
Skillshare,
video
you can
in
find courses
mind?
fashion
What are you
design and
doing?
Garment construction. Or if he wanted to learn app design, improve his photography, or just how to make a really good quesadilla, he would have found courses for all of these and more on Skillshare. Skillshare gives you access to high-quality classes taught by genuine
This
experts
guy has
in their
way
field.
too many fucking
I worked
views on his
that
videos.
mission.
47 million is a
Blown
little
away by the
much.
number of really useful courses available to me, like this class full of tips and tricks for creating vector art, or this one for creating character walk cycles. For an annual subscription, Skillshare is under $10 a month. And if you'd like to try it out first, then I've got a deal
Enough of the
just
fucking
for
plug already. I'm gonna just delete you if you don't stop already.
this link, which can be found in the description. Benito Mussolini.
God.
It's 1902. A young man by the name of Benito Mussolini moves from Italy to Switzerland to avoid military service. He gets big into socialism, working for trade unions, writing for socialist newspapers, advocating a violent overthrow of European monarchies, the whole shebang. This gets him in a bit of trouble with the Swiss police, so he gets arrested, sent back to Italy, set free, returns to Switzerland, is arrested again, goes back to Italy again, completes his military service after previously avoiding it, and then after a brief stint as an elementary school teacher, he finally returns to work as an avid socialist. His speeches and journalistic abilities made him famous among Italian socialists. He was anti-war, so when Italy colonized Libya in 1910, he rioted and got arrested. Then World War I came along, and once again he protested Italy's involvement. But then he thought, wait a minute, this war could bring about the social climate needed to overthrow European monarchies and bring about the socialist revolution everywhere. And suddenly he was pro-war, but his fellow socialists didn't like his new pro-war stance, so they kicked him out of the party. So then he said, you know what? I'm done with socialism. We need something new, not based on class divisions tearing us apart, but based on unity through nationality. We'll conquer the Mediterranean and reunite all Italian peoples just like the days of the Roman Empire. I'll call it fascismo, and it will guide the Italian nation to greatness. That's all well and good, Mr. Mussolini, but what kind of haircut am I giving you? Let's go with bold. Italy had been on the winner's side in World War I, and they hoped they were going to get a lot out of it, but in the end, they only got a little, and they felt cheated. On top of that, a bad economy and weak governments meant that the Italian people were a little unhappy. So when Mussolini came along and said that he could fix everything, his fascist movement gained a lot of support. In 1922, he went to the king and said, "Make me prime minister, or I'll make me prime minister." And the king said, "You and what army?" "This army." Fair enough. Then he went about establishing a dictatorship with himself at its center. Europe had its first fascist dictator. Next up, Germany. Germany had been on the loser's side, and they got absolutely wrecked by the Treaty of Versailles. They lost territory, had to demilitarize the Rhineland, had to reduce their army to just 100,000 men, couldn't have an air force, had to pay the Allies a huge amount of money that it didn't have, and a new rule was established that every Englishman withheld the right to walk into the center of Berlin, pick out any German they wanted, and spank the hell out of them. I made that last one up, but it helps you understand how all of this felt to Germans. On top of that, a bad economy and weak governments meant that when a small angry man with a silly mustache came along and said that he could fix everything, the German people loved it. Hitler had been a soldier during World War I, and he was crazy patriotic, and nobody was madder than him about Germany's humiliation. He helped start a new political party, and in 1923 attempted a march on Munich with his boys. And then he got arrested. But his popularity grew, and in 1933, the president made him chancellor. He believed he was Germany's great destined savior, and he went full megalomaniac, establishing a dictatorship with himself at its center. Europe had fascist dictator number 2. Hitler and Mussolini had a lot of the same ideas, but more importantly, they had the same enemies, and they started to get along. Anyone else want to be friends? Franco? No? You good? I do. Who's that? It's Japan, and they've taken over northern China. Let's rewind a bit. Japan had isolated itself from the rest of the world for over 200 years until the Americans showed up and said, "You're going to trade with us and you're going to like it." Then the Western powers imposed a bunch of unequal treaties, meaning Japan's economy was bust. They also had no natural resources, so they decided to go get some. They went to war with China to gain a sphere of influence over Korea, and they took a bunch of China's stuff. But then the West said,
Sphere of influence is literally what they use, a term they use in this game.
They said, "Okay, I guess we'll just go home." Wait a minute, what are you doing? Taking advantage of a weakened China and setting up spheres of influence. But I was the one who weakened them. We know. And you guys didn't let me have anything. We know. That seems unfair. We don't think so. Okay, see ya. So Japan thought, screw this, and went to war with Russia, and stunned everyone by actually winning. Then they fully annexed Korea, but they didn't stop there. In World War I, they took Germany's colonies and islands in Asia. And then in an incident that was maybe staged by the Japanese army, a bomb blew up a Japanese train in Manchuria, giving them an excuse to launch an invasion and take over. So here's the situation. Nazi Germany, Fascist Italy, and Japan all believe they're racially superior, all feel hostility towards the Allies, and all want to militarize and take...
Well, I don't know if racially superior.
Let's start with
is the
Germany.
thing.
Hitler hated the Treaty of Versailles, and now he was ready to begin undoing it. In complete violation of the treaty, the first Luftwaffe squadrons were set up, conscription was introduced, and he pimped up his army. The Allies did nothing. Then Hitler sent his army back into the demilitarized Rhineland, giving orders to immediately retreat if the Allies showed up. The Allies did nothing. With his military re-strengthened, he could now move on to step 2. He wanted to rapidly increase the Aryan population, and to do so, he needed Lebensraum. Or in other words, he would have to take over the world. But for now, a good portion of Europe would do, and he began eyeing up his neighbors. The Allies finally started to get worried, so they implemented a fairly useless diplomatic strategy called appeasement, and it went a little something like this. Hitler would say, "I want that thing," and the Allies would say, "You can't have that thing." "Okay, you can have that thing, but no more." "I want that thing." And repeat. In 1938, Hitler's army marched into Austria and just took it, with no resistance.
No! That's fucking lies!
He demanded
The Austrian people petitioned for annexation!
Germans. The Allies held a meeting with Hitler in Munich and said, "Look, we're going to give you what... Hang on. This meeting is about my territory. Shouldn't I come to the meeting too?" "Anyway, we're going to give you what you want." "Really?" "Yeah." "Just like that?" "Yep." "What's the catch?" "Just sign this piece of paper promising you won't invade the rest of Czechoslovakia." "Okay." Then Chamberlain returned home victorious, waving his signed piece of paper in the air, declaring crisis to be averted and the continuation of world peace. And we built a statue of Chamberlain in his honor, and every day on the 30th of September we celebrate Chamberlain Day. Hitler's invading the rest of Czechoslovakia. What? He's invading the rest of Czechoslovakia. Oh.
It was
You lied to
rigged.
me. What do you expect? I'm Hitler. Not to be outdone, Mussolini also wanted to get in on the action. He thought to himself, isn't there a not yet colonized nation somewhere which is so underdeveloped that the people would be defending themselves against our tanks with literal bows and arrows and wooden spears? Oh, there is? Fantastic. And so he took it. Italy also wanted to control the entrance to the Adriatic Sea, so they occupied Albania. Then, in another incident, which was maybe staged by the Japanese, gunfire was exchanged by Japanese and Chinese troops at the Marco Polo Bridge. and the Japanese launched yet another invasion against China. They swept through Beijing and Shanghai, and then advanced through the Yangtze Valley to China's then capital, Nanking. It was here that saw the worst of Japan's shocking atrocities committed against the Chinese people. Back in Europe, Germany and Italy made their relationship status official by signing the Pact of Steel. Then, Hitler turned his eyes towards Poland and the hated Polish corridor, splitting Germany in two. At this point, the Allies really had to put their foot down, and they warned him that an invasion of Poland would mean war. Hitler had planned to continue his advance eastward, but he didn't want to end up fighting a war on two fronts. So for now, he made an alliance with Stalin, saying, "How about we both invade Poland and split it between the two of us, and I definitely won't not refrain from not betraying you sometime in the future." Sounds good. This new alliance stunned the West. On the 1st of September 1939, German troops entered Poland, and Britain and France declared war on Germany. The Poles fought hard, but they were no match for the two giants crashing down on them from either side. Then came a period known as the Phony War, where everyone just sort of sat around not doing much. The French had launched a small invasion into the Saarland, but they maintained mostly defensive positions, and after a while decided to just turn around and call it a day. Speaking of France, the French were still super proud of their victory in World War I, and they hadn't really moved on from it. They still used horses, they dispatched messages by motorbike instead of using radio, orders from the commander-in-chief were usually pretty vague, and the troops were rarely inspected. They built a line of defenses along their German border, but didn't bother extending it all the way to the Channel, and they wouldn't launch artillery strikes against Germany out of fear of being retaliated against. In a war, they didn't want to attack the enemy. And at first the UK wasn't much better. Chamberlain still naively hoped that the war could be ended diplomatically. Instead of bombing raids, the RAF dropped propaganda leaflets over German cities, which one air marshal said likely did nothing but provide the continent with toilet paper for the duration of the war. They also only sent 200,000 men to France, while the French had mobilized millions. Both Britain and France wanted to avoid a repeat of the First World War, and so they wanted to keep the war as far from home as possible. So they turned their eyes north, towards Norway. Neutral Sweden was exporting iron ore to Germany through neutral Norway, so the Allies asked them if they could please stop exporting iron ore to Germany, but this request was refused. Then, the Soviet Union attacked Finland, so the Allies said, "How about we land troops in Norway and move them across Sweden to go help out your good pal Finland, and along the way maybe take control of all your armfields?" But Norway and Sweden still said no. So the UK mined the waters around Norway to force any transport ships into international waters, and they also attacked a German tanker they found in the area. Hitler realized what the Allies were up to, and he quickly moved to secure his supply of iron ore. He launched an invasion through Denmark into Norway. The Allies rushed to land troops at key ports along the coast, but Germany had taken control of Norway's airfield, and their air superiority decided the fight. The Allies had to retreat. After this slightly embarrassing failure, Chamberlain resigned and was replaced with Winston Churchill, who had a slightly different approach to dealing with the Germans. Hitler's overall strategy was similar to Germany's First World War strategy. Attack France, defeat France, knocking out the UK in the process, then turn on the Soviet Union and win the war. During the Phony War, the Allies had given Hitler time to prepare his forces. Now, he was ready to attack. The Allies had wanted to place troops in Belgium, but Belgium had refused, and in a move that surprised pretty much no one, Hitler launched an invasion to get around France's defenses. The Allies charged into Belgium at full speed to meet the German invasion head-on, and it looked like a repeat of the First World War was coming. But this time, Hitler had a trick up his sleeve. Blitzkrieg. As the Germans advanced, they sent thousands of refugees westward, slowing down the Allies. Then, to the south, the French had left the Ardennes, an area full of hills and forests, pretty underdefended because they thought it was naturally impenetrable. Well, the Germans were about to penetrate it with everything they had. They smashed 50 Wehrmacht divisions through and encircled the Allied armies at lightning speed. The best of the Allied forces were now trapped. The Germans squeezed in from all sides, taking out France's best armies and nearly wiping out the British too. But they
the
managed
Battle
to
of
make a
Dunkirk.
last-minute escape at Dunkirk, with British civilian ships even making the perilous journey to bring their young men home. With most of the French forces depleted, the Germans breezed through, taking Paris, and France fell. What the Germans couldn't do in World War I, Hitler had done just like that. Hitler hoped that with the fall of France, the UK would also lose hope and sue for peace. But quite annoyingly, it didn't, and he needed to secure the Western Front, so he tried to force them into submission with mind games. The UK were now all alone, and Hitler wanted to emphasize that. First of all, just before France fell, Italy finally declared war on the Allies, making the UK's situation even worse. Next, instead of just occupying all of France, Hitler occupied the coastal areas for defense, but allowed France to continue its existence as a German puppet state. This way, it looked like the UK's old ally had decided to switch sides. Hitler also hoped that the UK wouldn't attack any of her old allies' navy bases or colonies in Africa, giving Hitler an extra line of defense to the south. But the UK made sure to respond to this by sailing down to France's navy base in Algeria and wrecking a bunch of ships. So have at it. Hitler then began laying down plans for an invasion of Great Britain. Before German troops could land on British soil, he would first need air and naval superiority across the Channel. Waves of German bombers came, while the completely outnumbered RAF worked bravely around the clock in an attempt to quell the German attacks. At first, the Luftwaffe targeted British ports and coastal facilities. Then it attacked RAF bases, crippling the RAF's ability to defend the nation. And it looked like Hitler's Great British invasion was coming. But then, Churchill ordered a small, pretty insignificant bombing raid over Berlin. It didn't do much damage, but Hitler was furious, and he immediately ordered the Luftwaffe to refocus its attacks on civilian targets in London. Children were sent off to the countryside away from their parents to avoid danger, and frequent trips to air raid shelters became a daily occurrence. But British morale held firm. Smiling, knitting, lounging casually, these people have balls of steel. This refocusing on London
Not really.
gave the RAF breathing space to reorganize, so Hitler kind of shot himself in the foot there. Just the foot for now. Finally, the Luftwaffe sent one massive all-out attack on London, and the RAF successfully repelled it, destroying many of the German aircraft and placing air superiority firmly in British hands. Hitler's invasion had to be postponed, but the bombing of British cities continued for some time.
Did you like that? That was alright. I need to eat something. I gotta go to bed. I'm getting sleepy. I gotta wake up super early tomorrow. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it tonight right now. Call it bed. Good night, people. Thank you for joining me. I'll be live tomorrow, probably. Maybe. I don't know. Bye, bye, bye. I will eat some cheese curds. Thank you. Oh, grilled cheese sounds so good right now. I don't want to stop, but at the same time, I gotta eat food. So I'll be back later.